Residents, go in and stay in your houses. Drive the rats in the tank area.
Hell to the fucking yes. It is finally time. It is time to bring you this shit salad that we like to call the top 10 worst metal and hard rock singers. That's right, we're picking on both of them. There's no Reapers Underground this week, so we ended up holding off on tracks till today, just to give everybody their middle of the week. But we'll be back next Thursday with the Great Raven Black. But we got a humdinger because I'm telling you, we're gonna fucking clown the fuck out of these people. Some of them you're gonna be surprised. Some of them you're gonna cry laughing. But nonetheless, before we get started on this thing, let's take a quick commercial break to our brothers at Villain Arts Tattoos. Check them out. That's right. Villain Arts Tattoo Conventions, biggest in the country, in the world. More than just tattoos, it is a weirdo freak family of all walks of life, performers, and everything. So definitely it has been confirmed that myself and my Dark Queen will be at the Orlando one this coming year. So definitely watch out for that. Kyler, welcome, 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 and a hearty heaping helping of Danzig welcome. Just in case you missed it and needed it after this fucking crazy hot, long, stank week, and we're about to go into the weekend. Hail Satan. Yeah. Please share this out anywhere and everywhere. It's been advertised, and everyone needs to wake the fuck up and check this out. So,
before we get going, can you talk about this background choice? This is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, you know, it's not hard when you put in glam or hair metal. Any number of millions of horribly dressed, spandex wearing, fucking codpiece loving motherfuckers who sold out on every Aquanet hairspray can in the 80s to make their hair as big as they could possibly do it. And quite frankly, I think they also help to keep cosmetics in business, lipstick and eyeliner. I really don't know specifically what band that is, but I was just like, that's the look.
These guys might be Kicks.
It probably is.
Might be Kicks. That was super cheesy. They're terrible musicians. So when I see pictures like this, you know, they've got all the studs on, the black leather. Is this supposed to be tough? Because this makes me think you are light in the ass and you would be quick work Like I would take you down to the ground and choke you out in 5 seconds, probably, you little sissy Mary.
Congratulations, Kyler is no longer a Christian. You have come back to where you belong. That's what I
And
tell everyone that leaves that particular faith. So,
yeah, I left years ago. I just shake my head. What the hell was I thinking or not thinking? Yeah, I need to get me an upside down cross because that's kind of how I feel. Or I could
I
do a
can
nice.
help with that. I sell many.
Oh hell yeah! I'll need one. I would also like a Baphomet in an upside down pentagram. I've been reading the book for the Church of Satan, and it's very, very interesting. I think everybody should read that book, at least just so you're educated on it.
Yes, and to find out that there is no red pointy tail, cloven hoof, or
Yeah.
horns, that only comes out of me. But yeah, I mean, welcome to it. And anyone that makes that choice, I do own a spiritual shop here in Plattsmouth. And we just got a fuck ton of stuff in. So maybe I don't know,
Yeah,
maybe I'll
just let me know and I'll hit you up for it.
fuck
It-
yeah,
Just
absolutely.
get me something that's dark and about 3 to 4 inches long.
Okay, that's easy. We
Nothing
can make
like
that
that.
happen. That's awesome, Kyler. Kyler says, I want to get a pentagram tattoo.
Oh,
That's fine.
come
Just make
down
sure it's
here.
going the right direction.
Yeah. Yep. Come down to South Carolina and I'll hook you up, Kyler.
There it is.
Because I'm
You
actually
heard it.
sitting in my tattoo studio right now.
Yeah, I got to get in there myself.
Hell yeah. I got some scary shit ready to go. I have some tattoos that I want to do. I'm going to do some goat drawings in this tattoo style. And shit, I might tattoo one on myself.
That's badass.
I don't have
Yes,
much.
let's
I don't
do
have
it.
much room though. I got a couple little gaps on my legs. That's about it. But we digress.
Well, it must have been, waiting there for a reason.
Yeah.
All right, man. Who to roast? I mean, list first.
Oh, you're first, buddy. You go on this. You bring much better entertainment value than I do.
I'm going to start in the middle. And the reason I'm going to start in the middle of my list, because I have like 10 guys, is somebody that was famous in the 90s. Everyone talks about how great the vocalists were. No, they weren't. The fuck is wrong with you? Maybe they were once good until other things got in the way. And the person that I'm about to list is no stranger to this, and that is Scott fucking Weiland of Stone Temple
Oh.
Pilots. Started out singing like fucking Scott Stapp, and it just got worse from there. I mean, the band was phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, classic fucking songs, but you know what? Producer magic had their hand when it came to Scott Weiland, because I can't tell you how many videos of people roasting him live. And not to mention, his voice got to be so fucking bad. I'm not even getting on him about the drug abuse. I'm talking about it got so bad to the point where he would just literally sing through one of those fucking megaphones for like an entire 2 or 3 songs of their set. And I'm sitting here going, that just doesn't make you cool, man. I mean, you got a microphone for a reason. If that voice of yours can't belt it the fuck out, get the fuck off the stage. He's my number, 5? Yes.
Oh, so you're starting off with your like bad, but not the most atrocious.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get worse from here.
Oh boy. Yeah, because I saw them on Saturday Night Live years in the 90s, and I thought he sounded okay for that, but I would
In
like
the
to hear
beginning.
him on a tour. I'd like to hear him on a tour night after night after night and see if he can hold up.
YouTube it.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
This is one I didn't have him on my list. I will check it out.
Well,
Oh
it's
boy.
like they came out after Pearl Jam, and everyone was like copying Vedder's voice for some reason. That
Hmm.
and just fucking that made you cool. And I'm just like, you have your own voice, and it showed up on the second record, definitely not the first record. And then once they got so fucking popular on that second record, well, that's when, Uncle Tap the Vein started happening. And then it was just awful from there. And if you're a
Yeah.
singer, don't fucking smoke. Damn it. If it
Yeah.
adds to your voice, great. If it
Every
doesn't, you know.
every vocalist that I've ever spoken to, they have a routine.
Mm-hmm.
Like Travis Ryan spends about an hour before each show. This is according to Josh. I didn't hear this directly from Travis, but Josh said he gets in a mode, he doesn't speak to anybody, and he goes through and he kind of like mumbles and grumbles very
Mm-hmm.
gently, and he also sings. He sings cleanly and goes through all kinds of exercises, and he just paces up and down whatever type of venue, whatever space they give him. He does that. And then the singer for Tesseract, that dude
Mm.
can sing. He can scream a little bit too, but man, he can sing. And when I saw them live, he was really good. He
Yeah.
has a longer prep for what he does. Like he's professionally trained vocalist, and so hydration is huge for
Has
him.
to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I toured with, a lot of death metal bands back in the day. All them cats were practicing their voices for like 5-10 minutes straight to make sure that it was show ready. And they didn't have to like push it out super hard to the point where you almost throw up kind of shit. So yeah, I understand that completely. Apparently that skipped over Mr. Wyland.
Yeah. Apparently, so no smoking, no alcohol because alcohol will dry out. You're not supposed to eat like chocolate a lot because that'll kind of irritate
Makes
as
total
well.
sense.
Um, but hydration is the biggest thing, and not hydration with beer. So that's what I hear consistently. And for myself, when I go to record my vocals, I have to make sure I'm really hydrated. It makes a big difference. And that doesn't mean you drink 3 glasses of water an hour before. It means the day before you're getting ready for that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that. It's what you do the day before is how your next day is going to go.
Yeah. All right, man, I have one hell of a list. So the first one that I'm gonna trash is yeah.
Absolutely right, Kyler. Kyler gets it.
So the one that I'm gonna trash, I saw these guys in late January of 19, no, I saw them February 2nd of 1992, and Atheist opened up for him, and it was the Butchered at Birth tour, and I'm talking
Ooh.
about Chris Barnes.
Oh,
Uh,
cool. He made my list too. I'm
Chris
not
Bar
the only one.
Chris Barnes of Cannibal Corpse.
The
So
original from the
now
beginning.
he's even worse. To me, he was terrible. There was a big buzz like in Metal Maniacs magazine, and so I was like, okay, I got to check this album out. So I went and bought the cassette, and I just happened to be buying this humongous JVC sound system, and so I went into the music store and the stereo store, and I put this cassette in and played it, and I was just like, oh, I'm a little embarrassed. Like he's so boxy for those first 3 albums. It's like you can't even get close to understanding everything. It's like he has both hands totally cupped, and just sounds like absolute dog shit.
I
Like
mean, it's
he's
it's it's like he's singing into a toilet.
yeah, it's or like a toilet made of a barf bag. And then I saw him with 6 Feet Under, probably 2012, and Ola Englund was playing guitar for him. And the band that opened up before them was I saw Revocation that night, and
Ooh.
then Dying Fetus, and then
Mm.
Chris Barnes came out. Chris Barnes was terrible. Like his throat is so gone, and he relies on these little goat sounds. These terrible, stupid goat sounds that he makes. Yeah, they're just so dumb. So, and then Chris Barnes, I don't know if everybody knew this, was on cattle decapitation back in like 2012 or 2013. We're opening up for cattle decapitation. And um, he and Travis got
I
into
love
it.
it, Kyler.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kyler. And anyways, Travis Ryan, arguably and by many, like if you guys listen to like a really good YouTube channel is Cargavox Academy. He's the lead vocalist for I forget the name of his band, but they're signed on Metal Blade Records. This dude teaches you. He has classes, and he's now going to have digital platforms to teach you if you want to do extreme metal vocals from the beginning
That's
to
fantastic.
the up, and he's really good. And he just did one about a month or so ago, and he said that Travis Ryan is the best, the most dynamic um, metal vocalist living today. And I agree with him. And we already had a show on this before, so if you guys want to
For sure.
watch that one, you can go back and look. Yeah, but Chris Barnes is just fucking awful. I'll take Corpse Grinder any day. I do like the music for back then, but like it's pretty bad as far as death metal vocalists go, and he deserves more attention for this.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You know, to be quite and perfectly honest with everyone out in Black Flame Land, the reason that they started getting so popular is because no one was cupping the mic quite like Chris Barnes. So it was new, it sounded brutal, and for the underground guys that were, really starting to get into that, I think it was just more of an adrenaline rush from the music. I mean, yeah, on the records, you get this really dark, creepy sound that no one's really ever heard before. But man, you get him on a stage, there ain't a producer in the world that can make that guy sound great. I'm telling you right now. When you saw him in the fucking movie with Ace Ventura, Pet Detective,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? They weren't playing live. It was recorded. It was the fucking track that they were playing. That's not how the dude sounded live. And you've seen him with 6 Feet Under. Personally, I just hated that band. I just didn't like it. And I think that's why they have kind of like a small, loyal following. And we talk about metal purists. That's why people were following it, because they're like, oh, he was, one of the founding members of Cannibal Corpse back in the day. Well, big whoop-de fucking do if you still sound like a fucking toilet after a fucking night of drinking and Taco Bell and maybe some Del Taco after that. Listen to Chris Barnes.
And maybe some Del Taco with some salmonella thrown in.
Might as well throw in some arsenic while you're at it, because God damn it, nobody wants to smell that. That was a good one. He made my list as well. Oh man, so where do I want to go next? This is great. There was a ton of hair metal, glam metal bands that people literally just listen to them. Women, no offense to women, I love women, but damn it, there's no other reason you listen to any of those bands back in the day if it wasn't talking about partying, fast cars, money, like rap is today. The only difference is the boys were trying to look like y'all. So that must have been an appeal. I don't know. Still say David Bowie did it better. So did Marilyn Manson. But these guys legitimately looked like women. I mean, you would have to take a double take. But there was one band in particular that tried to do this and did it horribly. They had horrible skin, fucked up noses, and it just looks like they fell off the ugly tree and hit every goddamn branch on the way down. I'm talking about the lead singer for LA Guns. No, not
Oh,
LA Guns. My bad. My bad. Faster fucking Pussycat. And
oh,
the
I
lead
saw them.
vocalist name is Tammy Down. Well, somebody should have tamed his ass down and kicked his ass to the curb and let him float down the fucking river. What a terrible singer. Man, I could never get into that band. And those fucking assholes are still on tour to this day, playing the
Oh,
smallest pizza joints, the finest in the country, because nobody really wants to hear them. But back then, one hit wonders, whatever. That guy sounded like he was singing in a fishbowl. Just because you
gosh.
have a high voice doesn't mean you know how to use it. But that was the era of you could literally just kind of like talk and rhyme with like a little inflection, maybe a tad bit of melodicism, and get away with it. And just let the producer
Mhm.
do the rest. All he had to do was show up in makeup and hair.
Yeah, from what I remember, I saw them and they opened up for Motley Crue. I saw them in Albany, Georgia. It was
Maybe
the
they'll make them
last.
look better.
It was the last time I have actually punched somebody not in MMA training that I've actually punched somebody. I was right up on the stage. I mean, right next to right on the rail next to the stage, and I had two Marines and two Ranger friends with me. I was in the Ranger battalion, and this guy, and it was hot as fuck because we were jammed like sardines in there. And this guy is bringing his skinny, tiny little 5'3", 90-pound vet little girlfriend, and he's trying to walk her up because she's hot. And so apparently some assholes were touching her ass, grabbing her ass on the way
Well,
up to
shame
the
on them
front.
for doing that.
Yeah. Well, the guy pulls out a fucking knife because this is back before we had the metal detectors. So the dude pulls out a knife, and he's not facing me, but he's right beside me. And
Mm.
this is right before Motley Crue came on, and he pulled that knife, and so I yelled to the bouncers, and I said, "He's got a knife!" And all the
Mm.
bouncers jumped up on the rail, and we're looking, and I watched the guy because he was right next to me. He put the knife in his pocket. I just tapped him on the shoulder and just boom, and then we all just pummeled him, picked his ass up, and threw him over.
Now, ladies, what the fuck did you see in this man? Is it a man?
He, but Reaper, he might be sensitive.
Oh, sensitive my ass. He was just trying to make money. So there you go, Kyler. Now you know what he looks like. Imagine what he sounds like.
That was a better picture because when I saw him, he was heavier than that, and he always wore this cheesy hat. It wasn't quite a beret, but it was kind of like a beret.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those
So
photos.
when I saw Faster Pussycat, the whoever was on the mixer, that cat is very persistent. Whoever was on the mixer put him down really low in the mix, so the guitars and the drums were way out in front of his voice.
I mean, I don't even think if he went full drag queen that he would look very good at all. But
Mm-mm.
apparently, he was a fan of the ladies back in the day. But man, it sure as fuck wasn't because of his voice, because he really couldn't carry a tune. Um, and to be honest, the whole band is just not very good either. Kind of like a very lame attempt at being Poison.
Yeah. Yeah,
And that's not
that's a
saying
good one.
much.
Yeah, really. Well, Reaper, if you have time, go ahead and look for a picture of Rat because my number two is Stephen Piercy of Rat. I saw them and in gosh, that was like 1980, August of 1985, and Rat opened up for Bon Jovi. No, Bon Jovi opened up for Rat. Bon Jovi, he could sing. They were fine, and this is when Bon Jovi, it's before that Slippery When Wet Fuck album came out, and they were at least legitimate hair metal. They were quite a bit heavier. And then once that Cheeseball album came out and they had the guitars so low in the mix, I was just like, I'm fucking done. But anyways, this dude would never hold out a note. So everything was almost spoken, but it was like eh, eh, and it wasn't like holding the notes out like it was on the cassette that I had on the album. So
This
Steve,
motherfucker looks like a roast chicken.
oh, he did back then too. Oh, he's awful. Yeah, he looks really awful now. That this dude cannot sing. He couldn't even sing when he was young. Like, I don't know what type of production magic they did in the recording studio for him,
Lots
but
of
he
reverb.
he's probably the worst vocalist that I have ever seen live. He was horrendous. Off, mostly off key most of the time, but never held any notes. Oh, he was fucking horrendous. He does. Yes, he does. We were talking about that last week. He
Yeah, I
absolutely
mean, he
does look
looks
like a
like
rat.
Splinter on crack. Um,
Yes. And just so you
yeah,
know, he
he
was
was
he
definitely on my list.
he showed his pee-pee on Playgirl magazine too, just like our typo negative friend.
Yeah, he couldn't even hold up one of Peter Steele's testicles. Come on, no fucking way. They must have been like, all the good people are not available for the shoot, so could you do it? We're tired of Gene Simmons coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I concur 1000%. So moving right along. If
This
my
is Reaper's
clipping-
number 3. Oh, there he is. He's really pretty. He loves you.
She won't leave me alone tonight.
Oh, she loves you.
Oh man.
You must you must be the one who feeds her,
For sure. Both of them
because
actually.
because that's how it is in my house. The cats love me. Dogs do too.
Tyler says, I'd rather see the lazy nipple than have that mental image. I mean, could you imagine people actually bought that magazine? Women had subscriptions to that magazine in the 80s. It's like looking at a rat infested lazy noodle, a limp noodle at that.
Yeah, you know, when I was younger, I really didn't want to go look at Playboy or Hustler or stuff like that. I wanted the real goddamn thing. That's what I spent my time on.
I feel that because, it's like you're literally paying money. And don't tell me you read the articles, motherfuckers. I know you don't. Don't even try. That's been every man's excuse for the last 30 years. You're paying to see something that you can never touch, feel, pull next to you, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same way about strip joints. You guys are wasting. Yes, you are putting women through college here and there, but damn it, they may as well be your kid at that point.
Yeah.
Just my 2 cents. But anyway, as we are now moving on through this list, I got another doozy. This was not a very hard thing for me to do. So, yep, that's who I'm going to go with. So, obviously, women still feel this man is attractive. He's gone from hair metal to a solo project that honestly fell apart and then suddenly comes back with a TV show because
I know who this
MTV
is.
is fucking stupid. And then he's suddenly a country singer. I love this fucking idiot. He goes by the name of Brett fucking Michaels.
Hell
And
yes.
even with the curse word, it doesn't make it sound any better.
Yeah.
He even tried to make his own movie that no one ever saw. So we're talking about the front man from Poison. You can't tell me that he had a good voice, even for that kind of music. Like, the guy never held notes out. And every time a chorus was sung, his two backup singers, CC and the other guy, because I always forget his name, would sing backups at the same time in more of like a shout songy kind of thing. So, you could clearly hear this man's incompetence in voice with the song Every Rose Has Its Thorn. You know what? I could sing it. Every rose has its thorn. Just like every fucking time I open my mouth. Yeah, that's fucking Bret Michaels for you. The guy can't fucking sing worth dick. And I'm sorry for those that went and paid to see Poison on an arena tour because, motherfucker, please. Terrible. Just terrible. The only guy that even had any shred of talent in that band was CC DeVille. The guy could solo. He could shred. Personally, if he was in a different band, probably would have liked him better.
He had good stage presence. He always kind of reminded me of Marilyn Manson's guitarist later on.
Oh, Johnny Five?
Yeah, Johnny
Yeah,
Five.
I actually think Johnny Five might have mentioned him as an inspiration, when he was coming up learning to play.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I could totally see that. Although Johnny Five's way fucking better.
Oh,
yeah. Nope, not this clown who needs a backup singer for backup singing. It's overplayed and terrible. But it remains on every radio station that plays, I guess the 80s now are considered to be golden oldies. And you'll still hear one here and there. And it's just like, fucking hell. I'd rather listen to fucking, Diamond Dave with Van Halen. And he wasn't that great of a singer either. Yes, I know. I'm so sorry to let you know that. He wasn't the best.
Mm-mm.
The guy could put on a fucking show. Could he carry a tune? Yes. Can he sing now? Absolutely not.
Mm-mm. Yeah, don't want to see him now.
No, hell no.
Now, like another thing with Bret Miles, and I've always said this, if I was losing my hair, I would shave it all off. And I would embrace that, and I'd probably have a big-ass long beard. This dude wears the span. I'm like, dude, we all know you're hiding. It's like the Edge from U2. Dude, nobody cares. It's okay. But don't, hide it all. Like Donald Trump's comb over. Dude, just shave it the fuck off. Or get a decent toupee, or go get some plugs or something like that. Like, nobody really gives a fuck. You don't lose your manhood
You'd
or anything.
think that with their fucking money that they would actually go and do that. But then again, I can do you one better. Hulk Hogan.
Yes, absolutely. Another one.
Still wears hair
Yeah.
extensions.
And he looked awful when he would come out. It's like his whole head is pretty bald, and then he got the blonde on the side. I was like, dude, you look terrible.
I used to call it the Ring of Death.
I've seen Hulk Hogan a couple times.
I have too.
So,
In the glory days, of course.
yeah,
I mean, don't
too.
get me wrong. Love Hulk to death, but damn it, give up the ghost. Just
Yeah,
do
I agree.
it. You're
I,
like almost 70. Just let it go.
I saw Hulk Hogan 4 days before WrestleMania 3, where he body slammed Andre the
Oh,
Giant.
wow.
And so Andre the Giant came out when Hulk Hogan went against Harley Race, and Andre the
Oh,
Giant
shit.
came out. And so when Andre the Giant came out, I ran over to the side, and I could have literally reached out and touched Andre the Giant's head. Oh my gosh, his head was like the size of a 5-gallon bucket. It was so huge. That dude was
That would be like a cadaver worker's wet dream to see how big that man's brain was,
Yeah, wow.
let alone the skull.
Yeah, he used to have to shit in a tub. Yeah, I would not want to work for him, because he didn't clean that shit out.
No, and you know that was probably even more horrendous due to the fact that the guy could drink
Yeah.
3 cases of beer a day.
But we digress. How did we get onto this one? You know what? When you come and watch Tracks of the Damned, you are getting some quality sidetrack information every single time, every 15 minutes. Like we're filling in, like we're old, we're filling in all kinds of shit that we've been paying attention
Still
to
beautiful.
for 40 fucking years.
Maybe old, but beautiful, damn it. My goodness.
All right, so it's my turn for my number three. This is one
Absolutely.
of this guy is from one of my favorite bands, but live he cannot sing.
Oof.
I'm talking about, and I wish this man would hear this because I'm pissed. He just put out an amazing fucking album in 2021, and then he left the band. He left the band high and fucking dry, and he
Ooh.
went with this side project that I don't like. It sounds like
Mm.
shit to me. But I'm talking about the front man for Fear Factory, Burton
Ah,
C. Bell. Now his growls and his yelling is totally on point, but he cannot switch to singing clean, and he's off key. It's awful. He is
very
awful.
nasally.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's like he can't hear himself. It's really bad. He cannot stay in key. So Burton C. Bell of Fear Factory. I think when he practices and he's not on tour and he's not having to switch from dirty vocals to clean vocals, that he can do that. I bet you they don't record those tracks straight through. It's piece by piece.
Again, another, case of producer magic because
Yeah.
there's some and I wish he would have took this element out of Fear Factories, those goddamn keys. He can't match them. It's very evident. I happened to see them in the heyday with Raymond Herrera at Ozfest, and they were one of like the first couple of bands to open the show. And I loved every fucking thing else that they did musically. And you're right, those the vocals, the dirty ones, growling, should have stayed with that. Personally, I feel it fit a lot better. And then just let those keys, at that time they had the technology. The keys could have came out of the guitar. He could have just kind of stuck it in with that and just kind of like let that be a moment in its own. Don't sing with it because obviously in a big arena, shit, I don't even know if he could hear himself if they were in a smaller place. Can't match it.
I saw him in a small bar with Devin Townsend played right
Oh,
before he
wow.
went with Strapping Young Lad. And Devin Townsend, man, that dude can
That dude's
growl
amazing.
and he can sing.
He can do it all.
Amazing, amazing freaking vocalist. And then also Soilwork. The dude from Soilwork can fucking sing really well too. He sings clean and he yells. Really good. And then Burton C. Bell, that's who I came to see. I didn't even buy a t-shirt. And that was
Mm.
with Herrera playing as well. And he
At
was he
least you
was
got
awesome.
to feel that thunder.
Yeah. And Gene Hoglan was playing for Strapping Young Lad too, so I got to see Gene.
Who hasn't Gene played for? Please, somebody
I
tell
know.
me.
Well, at
He's like
least
the
he has
yeah.
really good taste. Really good taste.
He's like the Tommy
Yeah,
Aldridge of extreme drummers.
yeah, I agree. I
He
love watching
literally
Tommy.
plays on everybody's shit. And just to throw it out there, since we mentioned drummers, Nicholas Barker, the legendary Cradle of Filth, Dimmu Borgir drummer, who kind of really helped spawn the era of black metal blast beats, his technical ability, uh, still fighting the good fight, with the failing kidneys. He has a GoFundMe, and the outcry of support has been phenomenal. Gives me hope, as he's one of my heroes. So just had to throw that out there because let's face it, people. You know, our heroes are getting older and at certain ages where shit can finally catch up with you.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Who do I burn next? There's so many. Okay. I'm just going to hit it where it hurts because I know this is a band that so many people love and I don't really understand why, because they only really had one great album. This man is a dick. He ruined a multi-million-dollar band, caused one of the biggest riots in hard rock metal history in Canada when he walked off after not even playing one full hour. And they were slated to play 2 hours strong with, sadly at the time, at the height of their career after they sucked the cock of Bob Cock, Metallica. I'm talking about Axl Rose.
Oh my God.
I said it. I did it. I said it. I don't care if I hurt anyone's feelings. I'm sorry. When you tear that band down to bare bones without the genius of Slash playing guitar, Izzy Stradlin, and well, we've talked about Duff. Duff was okay for what he did. But if it wasn't for Slash, man, that band would have been shit. Honestly, that man's vocals were just like chalkboards to me. There was like 2 songs. I could not listen to their first record cover to cover. There were songs I just couldn't get with. No, I don't want to hear that. That didn't make me want to tear my walls down. It didn't make me want to destroy my neighbor. There was nothing that great. And there are some great hard rock singers out there, metal singers that can sing legitimately. That man's voice, I like Grit. I'm a big Tom Waits fan. I know most of you probably just got your minds blown. But damn it, his gravel voice is awful. That's just my 2 cents.
Inconsistent. And if anybody's seen any of the recent videos of them on tour,
my damn.
Oh, it's awful.
Oh,
it's
my
awful.
goodness.
It's really awful. Oh, Axl Rose.
I couldn't get with it. It's one of those things, if one of their songs was playing and it was in a bar and you've been drinking, that's when you can kind of like stomach it, in my opinion. Musically, I don't have too much bad to say about the band. Although those later albums made no goddamn sense at all.
Yeah. Oh, the Use Your Illusion 1 and 2.
That's a really bad case of nihilism, if you would ask me.
I never bought those albums because they went to like classic rock at that point, and I hated it. That
was something they were never meant to be.
Yeah, I hated that album. I hated, especially what is it, November Rain? Oh, I fucking hated that song. Kill Me Now. All right. Well, my number 4, I'm going to be the one to do it. Oh, I didn't see that one. What did he say?
Oh, I'll put it up again. He said the video sent me of Axl Chef Kiss.
Yeah. Oh my God, it is so awful. So I'm gonna do what I think is probably the worst right now. Axl Rose is really horrendous. Stephen Pearcy's horrendous, but this one is perhaps the worst. Vince Neil of Motley Crue.
Oh, you didn't get down with the smoking in the boys' room?
No, I hated that fucking song. But if you watch his live performances now, Oh my, he's awful. They're making fun of him. There's so many YouTube videos and
I
YouTube
mean, take your
shorts
pick.
with him right now. Oh, he is awful. Like he doesn't even know the words to the fucking songs now. He's just making shit up. It's awful. Vince Neil, fuck you. Now, when I saw him on the Dr. Feelgood tour, and then I saw him like 2007 and 2007 or 2006, and he was okay then. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't a great singer. He was off key and he couldn't hold the notes real well, but now he's taken it to an entirely new low. Vince Neil is fucking awful, and he needs to quit. That band needs to quit. With Nikki Sixx not even playing fucking bass lines and using the fucking uh, the triggers um, for the drums,
Tommy Lee. Yeah.
the Tommy Lee. They need to go. I would. Yeah, you'd have to pay me to go see them. You know how I booed Evanescence when I saw them open up for Korn? I would boo them even more than Evanescence. At least that girl can fucking sing.
And it kills me because Johnny Five is playing for them in Mick Mars's stead. And it's just like, he just must be like silently laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we're talking about a stadium tour that has grossed to date over $100 million. But here's the thing. I mean, just today, I had these two great customers, young people in their 20s, saying they're going to see Motley Crue when they come here. They're coming to Omaha. And I'm like, well, did you hear? She was like, yeah, it was really, for my dad because that was his era of music, but I'm still going. And, I at least want to say I did it. I was like, okay, I could see that. I can respect that because obviously the Motley of today, as opposed to 20 years ago, before he became a tuna fish. I mean, he literally walks out on stage barefoot of all things in these tight leather pants with that now famous beer gut Orama, and still, even with the facelift, thinking that he still looks like the Vince Neil of yesterday. I'm like, come on. I would rather go and see Alice Cooper at this point.
Yeah, no, he'd be all right.
Still rocking, still has it. Sure, in the 70s he had his go of the party days, but god damn it, Vince Neil is literally paying to keep his beer budget going. And going to fucking Vegas to get drunk with Nicolas Cage. I mean, it's pretty bad when this poor fan, we live in the era of I forget what it's called, where you can pay good money, I might add, to have your hero send you a video message. Cameo is what it's called. He shows up fucking liquored from the floor up to the fucking moon. Barely could understand what he was saying because the motherfucker was slurring his speech so bad. I would be like, give me my fucking money back and I will take that money just to fucking pay to punch him in the face. I mean, imagine that fan and how they felt getting that piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, obviously, I'm a drinker myself. That's fine. It's no secret. But damn it, I don't ever show up drunk to anything.
Yeah, me too.
I don't even get drunk.
I never show up stoned to anything. I never show up drunk to anything. I only do it at night.
Exactly. It's recreational, which is what it's meant to be. This guy, gets paid couple $100 or no, it might have been more than that because it was Vince Neil.
Mhm.
Please, there is a time to give that shit up.
Good God.
Just
Right.
like fucking Steven Tyler of Aerosmith. Anyway, I'm so glad that they're on their last bout and it's done.
Yeah.
Oh man, so we
All
have
right.
come to number 1. Damn, I got so many good ones on here. I just don't know who to go with. Okay, I'm going to do it. So, another glam rock band that was like famous for a year, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2, especially because when Kiss was doing the Hot in the Shade tour, they happened to take these guys on. And I don't think that this band ever even headlined their own gig anywhere. But you could always hear maybe 1 or 2 of their fucking songs on the radio at the time. They were featured a lot in some of the, well, they weren't really featured. I don't even think they ever made the front cover, to be honest, of Hit Parader or, Metal Maniacs, anything like that. But a band named after a breakfast cereal. You tried to sell us a band that's named after a fucking breakfast cereal. I'm talking about a band called Kix. And the singer's name is Steve Whiteman. And suffice it to say, he's off doing his own thing that's never going anywhere. And as I understand, this band, they took like a fucking 20-year hiatus to reform in 2016. And I guess they're just trying to ride the nostalgia wave or something. This band was never very good. But man,
No.
vocalist wise, horrible. Like, Bret Michaels, Vince Neil, those guys could hack a little bit, and this guy just had nothing. It was definitely
back
his
in the
backup
80s.
band, which even they weren't very good. Their songwriting wasn't very good. It just seemed like recycled, again, recycled Van Halen tunes. But they weren't even good.
They were overproduced. You can't hear the guitars really don't bite in their songs. They're poppy. They had like one, and it wasn't even a big hit. It was kind of a hit.
Yeah, it was a fly by night because at the time metal was taking over, or basically had taken over at that point, MTV. For all of you out there, that was the era when they actually lived up to their fucking name.
Hell
They
yeah.
played music videos.
Up through about 92
Not
or
reality
93.
TV.
Yep.
And they were on a good couple of times on Headbangers Ball because Ricky Bachman, had a penchant for these terrible fucking glam acts at the time. Before he cut his hair and suddenly ushered in getting in line with bands like Pantera, Fear Factory, and a lot of the other heavier bands coming out in the 90s. But in the 80s, he was all about the glam, and those motherfuckers would show up. I even think that Beavis and Butthead roasted them once or twice. So what does that tell you? And I've seen those assholes live because, like I said, on one of our other shows, my brother just wanted to go see Kiss so fucking bad, which was horrible. Now, when I say loud doesn't necessarily mean better, it only works for Lemmy because Lemmy is a demigod.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad, because I was going to say something about Motorhead. I'm glad you said that because Motorhead's easy to play.
Absolutely. It was easy on the ears, even though it was at like 25,000 decibels.
Oh my God. It was fun. That's the loudest show I've ever seen by far.
Oh, when I tell you Kiss shrieked so bad, and I was in the nosebleed section. Oh man. And they had this shit band Kix open up. Let me tell you, the reason he's my number one. This singer is so bad that they had him turned down.
Yep.
You heard the backup vocals. The drummer was singing backup. So was the guitar out front and the bass. They were all singing backups. That's the only thing you heard. You heard choruses. Shit. Definitely should not have been a lead vocalist. And you know what? If I was Kix and reunited in 2016, I wouldn't ask his ass back either because he sucks.
Yeah.
Looked like a turnip too.
Well, my number one, it's not necessarily the worst. Like I felt like Vince Neil was the worst, but it's really
He
hard.
takes the cake.
I have 5 shit shows that I haven't been able to share yet, and they all deserve a
Ooh.
place in this top 5. But you can only choose so many who are awful.
Oh, we'll give some deplorable mentions here shortly.
Let's see. I got to do it. And I'm not the first to do that. A lot of people have done this, but a lot of people give him a pass because they say, well, he's playing guitar and he's playing very complicated guitar. Okay, this band is they're definitely in the top 5 most boring bands that I've seen, and I've seen them four
I know
fucking
exactly who you're
times.
talking about too.
I've seen them 4 fucking times,
Hang on
and
to your tits.
they're fucking boring. And I'm talking about the red-headed right-wing nut job, Dave Mustaine. That
The
dude,
man himself admits he sucks.
yes. Oh God, their shows are so fucking boring. So boring. I was so excited to see them on the Clash of the Titans tour. They were, let's see, it was Alice in Chains, then Anthrax, and then Megadeth, and then Slayer. I was still pretty excited because I love that Rust in Peace album. And Dave Mustaine was a bit better then. He was trying harder on that tour, but oh man, he's just shot. He's awful.
It just doesn't. It sounds hokey sometimes, like when he did "Hello, Me, It's Me Again."
Mm-hmm.
I forget the name of the song, but it's like
Sweating
everything else
Bullets.
was kind of Sweating Bullets. That's right. He even put effects on his voice. That was like the only thing that carried that chorus through. It's like he's always gritting his teeth. And that doesn't necessarily make you metal. It just doesn't. And for a thrash band, it's the only time I would take Tom Araya over somebody else. Because let's face it, Tom Araya doesn't have the best voice either.
No, he doesn't. But he's just
I
kind
know,
of
the
he's
almighty
barking.
Slayer. But
Tom Araya is just barking though, so it's easier. Like you can't fuck barking up too much.
Unless at the beginning of Angel of Death, he tries to do a death scream.
Yeah.
That shriek that metal history will never forget. Somebody actually, like, I saw a video somewhere, one of those like reels or something where they took a clip of his opening scream over top of something. I don't know. It was like 2 chickens fighting.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly. And I was just like, now see, that's appropriate. Kyler says, Dave Mustaine sounds better now at least than the past. Well, that's probably because he's not pouring vats of fucking booze down his throat anymore. I don't think he ever did an album sober, as I understand their history, except for maybe the last couple.
I think Rust in Peace was sober. Because I remember him talking about that in Metal Maniacs. Because his heroin addiction got so bad, and alcohol was so bad in the late 80s.
Didn't know he was touching the old H.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
That would explain why he's still thin. Oh man. Speaking of health debacles, I want to take a poll. I want to take a poll with everybody out there in Black Flame Land and you as well, Human Hoof Beast. There has been an eruption over the last couple days about a statement that Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of fucking Darkness, made. And he said, and I quote sort of because I'm probably paraphrasing, that he said, I literally love you all and that I am going to make my return to the stage. If I die the first song, I will come back the next day. Fans all over the world are now telling him, hey, you have nothing left to prove. You've done it all. You've done it all. You've mastered it. You are loved by millions. Your fucking albums will live on forever. Enjoy your old age, being a grandpa, and enjoy your money. You don't need it. How do you guys feel about this? Would you basically tell him the same thing? And we all love Ozzy. You know, not one of the best singers in the world, but one of the most recognizable voices in metal history. I mean, we're talking about decades, 5, 6 of them. Should the man try to kill himself by going up to the stage at this point? What do you think?
I think it'll, like, when I saw Judas Priest, Rob Halford could still sing. I saw them right before COVID, 2019, June, before COVID. And I saw Ozzy in June of 2015 in Abu Dhabi, and he was excellent. His voice was really good. It was Ozzy. He had energy up there. He couldn't jump really, but he moved and
Well,
he
no.
moved his arms and clapped and got us going. He was great. Um, if he goes on tour with Ozzy Osbourne, I would go see him. I would pay top dollar ticket. I wouldn't pay $500 or $400 for a ticket, but I'd probably pay up to $200 to see him because I trust that he's going to be quality when he comes out, and I trust that he'll spread the shows out and give himself a break. And if he only plays 1 hour, that's okay with me. When I saw the reason why I brought up Judas Priest is they only played like an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, and I gave them the old man pass. That's okay. I was fine. I got to see Rob Halford. I got to listen to him sing. Yes, he was really stiff and moved really slowly and wore this humongous leather jacket that must
Well,
have given
that's
him a
his
workout.
fucking problem right there. He's wearing half a cow on him.
He really is. That jacket's fucking huge.
And all the studs. Damn.
But I would want to see him, but I would want him to pace it out. And if he only plays for an hour, so be it. That's okay.
So when we pose this question also out to all of you in Black Flame Land as well, let us know what you think. Tyler says, I may never see Ozzy live, and I think I would be okay with him just retiring because he needs it. I mean, let's face it, this man is going through literal hell. I mean, between the Parkinson's too, and they're saying that his neck injury, the surgery he had done was botched, and they're actually trying to sue the doctor. This man is in probably the most immense pain that you could ever imagine. And I watched a video interview that he just recently did, showing this guy, all the art drawings and stuff he does. He gets up, he literally looks like a man walking with like puppet strings, although there are no puppet strings.
Yeah,
He's
he
like,
does.
real gangly and stuff. I'm just like, dude, man. I mean, I understand this because I hate not being on stage. I have been an entertainer my whole adult life. I can't stand that I've been off the fucking stage for a year. But then again, I'm not 74 either. Or have even a inkling of this man's fortune. And a lot of people say his wife is the one pushing these, heartstrings to get him back up there.
I wonder, like I've always found him to be such a professional that I wonder if he feels bad because I was going to go see him in Portland in 2019 when he had to cancel that show, and
COVID.
I think Megadeth was opening up for him.
Mm.
Oh God, I would have seen Megadeth yet another time. That's a band. Oh God, I don't want to see them again.
That big show that was coming up, shit, I forget what it's called. It's in the fall. It's See the Legends kind of tour. It's AC/DC. I think Def Leppard's one of them. Judas Priest is another. Iron Maiden. But they're doing like a 2-night thing where they got headliners Friday and headliners Saturday. So, Metallica's a part of this too. Don't ask me fucking why. Fuck. Nobody wants to see that shit. But still, Ozzy was going to do it, and he had to drop off because his body is just broken right now.
Yeah.
So he really needs to, in my opinion, you got to get right. You don't want to go up there and half-ass it. Don't let that be the end of your legacy.
Yeah.
Because at this point, it's not about the money. It's just about the fans, which there's no humbler guy than Ozzy. Let's be real.
I saw Willie Nelson 4 days before he turned 89.
Holy crap.
That was just over a year ago. And he sat down and he brought his guitar out and he played, but he could not hold notes. He kind of spoke the songs. He was so sweet, but you can hear his voice, but he's not really singing anymore. That was a little disappointing, but I'd never seen Willie Nelson. I'd want to see him for years. And so it was worth it for me.
Sure.
And he only played for about an hour and he was done. And I was okay. I understood.
I mean, and that's great. So I think I could say as long as he feels good enough to do it. And honestly, if he would do the Phil Collins thing where he sits in a fucking chair the whole show, no one would fault him for that.
Nope.
Shit, if that's comfortable and you can still fucking pull it off, do it.
Give him a fucking lazy boy, a black lazy boy.
They could make that thing look like a big dark throne.
Or yeah, put big giant bat wings on that fucking lazy boy.
Why the fuck not? At least he could do the songs. He did his videos that way. For Patient Number 9. Yeah. All of those, he was in a chair because he couldn't fucking stand. So shit, if you're gonna do it right. But don't try to think you could be the Ozzy 10 years ago. Because obviously that's not where he's at. All right.
Well, speaking of shitty singers, we have our honorable mentions.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that real quick.
I'll lead off with the first one. James fucking Hetfield of Metallica.
I love it.
When he has to sing his cutesy little ballad songs, he fucking sucks.
He wasn't meant to sing them.
Yeah.
Then again, he checked in his man card many years ago.
He sure did.
But then again, he's a fucking multimillionaire 5-6 times over.
Yep.
Got any more?
Oh, I got a whole bunch more. So my next. Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sammy fucking Hagar.
Fucking rock.
I couldn't stand it when he did I Can't Drive 65. I definitely can't stand him with Van Halen.
Yeah.
Again,
awful.
Would much rather hear Diamond Dave running that ship.
Yeah, I've got one that Kyler might not like if you're still here, Kyler. Corey Taylor. Now, the only reason why it is because when I've seen him, now the last time I saw him in 2019, he was okay. But when I saw him two other times, All Hope Is Gone, and I saw him another tour, his fucking mask was in the way, and so he didn't have the mic
Mm.
up close enough. So he'd outright miss 2 to 3 words until he realized because he could hear, and then he'd have to jam the mic up closer to the mask. His mask was a fucking problem both of those first 2 times. And then the last show, he only had the mask in 2019. He had the mask from the top up, and he had his whole bottom jaw open, so I could hear him just fine for that. Like he was good for that show.
I never really cared for his singing voice as I did. I mean, Iowa was such an awesome fucking record. I don't know. I'm all for evolving, but don't evolve into something that band was never meant to be.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I don't hate any of their albums, but the last one wasn't very good, and the one that was 2 before that was not very good.
You know, it's definitely
They were flat.
a step in the wrong direction for me.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I can mark those 2 off. So I only got one more, honestly. And that's Eddie Vedder. Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam. It was just always bad. The energy of the band was fantastic. But honestly, when they had the drummer change, it just got worse from there. For a minute, he thought he was punk. For another minute, he's like, no, I'm alternative. And then, I don't know. And he was always another one of those drunk live. So when you're drunk live, you're going to get a Jim Morrison type character. So I'm not judging them by the record, judging it by the live performance. And live, he just does not sound good at all. And if he was drunk on wine, it was even worse.
Mm.
Because at that point, he's just going off of adrenaline and not technique.
Well, let's see. I have 3 others. Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, fucking awful. Can't hold notes at all, but that's when he was on H real bad.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know if he can
Another
sing now.
very nasally singer.
Yeah. Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins was fucking horrible. Rob Zombie is pretty bad. I just saw him, and he kind of barks things out, but it's not real good. He's probably my least, like, he's not terrible, but he's not great. And I guess that's it. I did have Kevin Dubrow from Quiet Riot, but then I watched him for the US Festival, and he was okay. He was passable. He was like a C minus. He didn't get into a D or an F. But most of these get an F, a total F. Vince Neil, Stephen Pearcy of Rat, Vince Neil of Motley Crue, Dave Mustaine, F. Burton C. Bell, his clean singing is an F. And fucking Chris Barnes is a fucking F. And that's what
everyone
we're
on my
for.
list is definitely an F. And to be honest, I would even throw in Paul Stanley of Kiss.
Oh yeah, he's on there.
Let's face it, Gene Simmons' voice, way better.
Mm-hmm.
Way fucking better. Honestly, if he would have fronted the band, I probably would have liked it better.
Yep. The only song that they did that I really like is a Gene Simmons song.
Yeah, Dr. Love. Such a great song.
Mine is Hell's on Fire? Feel my
Oh,
heat.
Heaven's on Fire.
Heaven's on Fire. Heaven's on Fire. That's the one. I remember when I saw, right when I first got MTV in like 1982 or 83, that's one of the videos they had. And Eric Carr was the drummer. and he had big
Mhm.
old hair, and the stage was so dark. Like, boys and girls, the stage used to be fucking dark back then. Well, at least, and like the audience was black. Like there were no fucking lights. It was dark back then
Yes.
when you went to a show. Now they light everything up for safety, or they
Not
partially
exactly
light it up.
why. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I really don't.
I mean, it was fucking dark back then.
Loved it. You know, the best you could hope for was like a red light.
Yeah.
That would kind of like just go over the crowd a bit. But being in the dark, I mean, it illuminated the stage that much more. So now it almost feels like, well, we don't have to make anything dark anymore because we're just going to use fucking video screens. So
Yeah.
if, why look at the stage when you can look at the video screen? Who wants to do that? I could do that at home.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's why I love the art of the small club. Dark
Mhm.
as fuck, except for the stage.
Yep.
Thank y'all so fucking much for tuning in tonight. It was an absolute blast doing this. There's multiple vocalists that we probably haven't even mentioned that are just
Mhm.
fucking terrible. But there are musicians even just as bad. So sometime we might do that. I don't know. We will definitely put our two heads together and bring you another gut buster of an evening. So if that is just what you needed, you are welcome. So as you're laying it down with visions of fat Vince Neil and saying, I
Fat
can't
Axl Rose.
continue, or a fat Axl Rose that say they can't continue because of years of touring, just always remember to keep your metal card and stay heavy.
All residents, go in and stay in your houses. Drive the rats